Two brothers, one honest, one deceitful. One day they find themselves in the same situation, and the people's trust in each is put to the test. This is the story of reputation and character.
In a prosperous city, there lived twin brothers named Ashok and Vikram. They were identical twins, born on the same day, looking exactly alike, with the same voice and the same physical features. Even their own parents sometimes had difficulty telling them apart. But although they looked identical, their characters were completely different. Ashok was an honest man who valued truth and integrity above all else. He worked as a merchant, and he was known throughout the city for his fair dealing and his reputation for always telling the truth. When Ashok made a promise, he kept it. When he gave his word, people could depend on it absolutely. Vikram, on the other hand, was dishonest and deceptive. He was also a merchant, but he built his business through lies and fraud. He would cheat customers by misrepresenting his goods. He would make promises he had no intention of keeping. He would tell lies whenever it benefited him. Vikram had become wealthy through dishonesty, but his wealth was gained at the expense of others whom he had deceived. Despite their opposite characters, the brothers remained close. They lived in the same city and saw each other regularly. But their relationship was tense. Ashok despised his brother's dishonesty. Vikram was jealous of Ashok's reputation and success despite being poorer than Vikram materially. The people of the city knew both brothers and understood their different characters. When they needed honest dealing, they went to Ashok. When they wanted to take advantage of a dishonest scheme, they sought out Vikram. The city had learned to judge each brother by his own character and reputation. But one day, a situation arose that would test the city's ability to tell the brothers apart and to recognize true character. A wealthy widow named Lakshmi lived in the city. She was a kind and generous woman who often helped poor people. She kept her jewelry in a wooden box in her home, not in a bank or safe, but in her private room. The jewelry was valuable, worth hundreds of thousands of rupees. One day, Lakshmi's jewelry box was stolen. All her jewelry disappeared. Lakshmi was devastated. Not only was the jewelry valuable materially, but it held sentimental value. Much of it had belonged to her deceased husband. Lakshmi immediately went to report the theft to the city magistrate. She described the jewelry and the circumstances of the theft. The magistrate promised to investigate. The investigation led to some important clues. A neighbor had seen someone leaving Lakshmi's house at night, carrying a heavy bag. The person wore clothes similar to those that the twin brothers wore. The person had a similar build and height to the brothers. The magistrate called both Ashok and Vikram for questioning. When both brothers arrived at the magistrate's office, the magistrate presented them with the situation. "One of you has stolen Lakshmi's jewelry," the magistrate said. "A witness saw someone matching your description leaving her house at night. I cannot tell you apart physically. I need to determine which one of you committed this crime." Both brothers denied the theft. Ashok said, "I am innocent. I would never steal. My reputation is built on honesty. I would not destroy it for any amount of money." Vikram said, "I am innocent as well. I am a merchant, but I do not resort to theft. I earn my money through business." The magistrate was confused. Both brothers looked identical. Both brothers claimed innocence. The witness could not identify which specific brother had committed the theft because they looked so much alike. The magistrate decided on a test. He would present both brothers with a situation and observe their reactions. He would see which brother's character would be revealed through their actions and words. The magistrate decided on this test. He would tell both brothers a story and ask them to respond with what they would do in that situation. Through their responses, he hoped to reveal their true characters. The magistrate said to both brothers, "I will present you each with the same situation. You will each tell me what you would do. Through your responses, I will understand your character and make my determination about the theft." The magistrate turned to Ashok first and said, "Suppose you found a large sum of money on the street. No one was nearby. No one would know if you kept it. What would you do? Ashok thought for a moment and answered, I would search for the owner of the money. I would ask around to see if anyone had lost money. If I could identify the owner, I would return the money to them. If I could not find the owner after reasonable effort, I would give the money to charity. I would never keep money that did not belong to me. My character is built on honesty, and I would not compromise it for any amount of money. The magistrate nodded and turned to Vikram. He asked him the same question. Suppose you found a large sum of money on the street. No one was nearby. No one would know if you kept it. What would you do? Vikram thought carefully. He seemed to understand the purpose of the test. He answered, I would do exactly as my brother says. I would search for the owner and return the money to them. I would not keep money that did not belong to me. My character is also built on honesty and integrity. The magistrate was still not able to determine which brother was honest and which was dishonest, because Vikram had simply copied Ashok's answer. The magistrate realized that Vikram was simply copying Ashok's answers to make himself appear honest. The magistrate needed a different kind of test, one that would reveal the brothers' true characters through their immediate reactions, not through carefully planned answers. The magistrate said to both brothers, I have another test for you. This one will be different. The magistrate brought out Lakshmi's jewelry box. He opened it and showed it to both brothers. This is the stolen jewelry, the magistrate said. I am going to place it on this table. I will leave the room for a few minutes. When I return, I will observe which of you has tried to touch it or move it. Your natural reaction will reveal your guilt or innocence. The magistrate left the room. Ashok and Vikram were alone with the jewelry box sitting on the table. Ashok sat calmly and did not touch the jewelry. He felt no temptation to touch it because he had not stolen it and had no connection to the theft. Vikram, however, stared intensely at the jewelry box. His eyes kept returning to it. His fingers twitched. He seemed to be wrestling with an internal conflict. Finally, he could not resist. He reached out and touched the jewelry box. He opened it slightly and looked inside at the jewelry. When the magistrate returned, he immediately observed that Vikram had moved the jewelry box slightly and that its lid was partially open. Vikram's guilt was revealed through his involuntary reaction. The magistrate said sternly, Vikram, you are guilty. Your reaction to the jewelry revealed your guilt. Only the guilty person would feel drawn to the stolen goods. An innocent person would not touch them. Vikram tried to deny it, but the magistrate had already seen enough. He ordered a thorough search of Vikram's home. There, the magistrate's officers found Lakshmi's jewelry hidden in Vikram's bedroom. Vikram was arrested and taken to the city jail. When the magistrate questioned him further about the theft, Vikram finally confessed. He admitted that he had stolen Lakshmi's jewelry. He had planned the theft carefully and executed it skillfully. He had intended to sell the jewelry and add the money to his wealth. Vikram's confession was difficult but necessary. He had been caught, and the evidence was overwhelming. He admitted his guilt and faced the legal consequences of his crime. Lakshmi was relieved and grateful to have her jewelry returned. The magistrate had solved the case successfully. The city was satisfied that justice had been served. But something remarkable happened after Vikram's confession. The city realized an important lesson about the power of character and reputation. Although Ashok and Vikram looked identical physically, the magistrate had been able to distinguish between them through their characters. Ashok's honesty and integrity meant that he could sit peacefully in the presence of stolen goods without feeling temptation or guilt. Vikram's dishonesty meant that he could not resist the temptation, and his guilt manifested through his involuntary reaction. The city learned that true identity is not determined by physical appearance. True identity is determined by character. Two people might look exactly alike, but their characters would eventually reveal their true natures. Lakshmi herself spoke about the lesson she had learned. The magistrate could have been confused, she said. These brothers look exactly alike. But the magistrate was wise enough to understand that character cannot be hidden forever. Honesty reveals itself through peaceful conscience. Dishonesty reveals itself through guilty actions. After the case was resolved, many people came to the magistrate asking him how he had been able to tell the brothers apart when they looked identical. The magistrate explained his reasoning to them. These brothers looked identical physically, he said, but their characters were completely different. A person's character is revealed through their actions and reactions. In the first test, Vikram simply copied his brother's answer. He tried to appear honest by repeating what his brother said. But that was not a true test of character. He continued, the second test was more revealing. When I left the stolen jewelry in the room, I observed their natural, instinctive reactions. Ashok, who is truly honest, felt no temptation and no guilt. He sat peacefully. But Vikram, who is dishonest and greedy, could not resist the temptation. His guilty conscience drew him to the jewelry. His involuntary reaction revealed his true nature. The magistrate spoke about an important principle. Character cannot be hidden forever, he said. A person might deceive others for a time through careful words and planned actions. But eventually, their true character will be revealed through their instinctive reactions in unexpected situations. The guilty person will reveal their guilt through their behavior. The honest person will reveal their honesty through their peace of mind. The city took this lesson to heart. People began to understand that character was more reliable than words. People began to observe others' actions and reactions rather than just listening to their words. People began to recognize that honesty creates a kind of peace and ease, while dishonesty creates internal tension and guilt. Ashok's reputation as an honest man was strengthened by this event. Everyone in the city now understood clearly that he was truly honest, not just pretending to be honest. His character had been proven through the test. After the twin test case became famous in the city, Ashok's business flourished. More and more people came to him for honest dealings. They trusted him completely because his character had been proven beyond doubt. Ashok used his growing wealth to help poor people and to support charitable causes. He never forgot that his reputation was built on honesty and that he had a responsibility to maintain that reputation. When Ashok's customers asked him about the famous test, Ashok would speak about it humbly. I did nothing special, he would say. I was simply honest. The test only revealed what was already true, that I am an honest man and my brother is dishonest. The test did not make me honest. My honesty existed before the test, and the test simply revealed it. Ashok also spoke compassionately about his brother. Although Vikram had committed a crime and was in prison, Ashok did not hate him or wish him ill. Ashok understood that his brother had made poor choices, but he still considered him family. My brother made dishonest choices, Ashok would say. He built his life on deception. Eventually, that deception caught up with him and brought him to prison. I wish he would have chosen honesty instead. I wish he had learned from our different paths that honesty leads to peace and dishonesty leads to suffering. When Vikram was eventually released from prison after serving his sentence, Ashok welcomed him back and tried to help him reform. Ashok offered his brother the opportunity to work honestly in his business and to rebuild his life on a foundation of honesty rather than deception. Vikram spent several years in prison. During his imprisonment, he had time to think about his life and his choices. He thought about how dishonesty had led to his suffering. He thought about how his brother had succeeded through honesty while he had failed through dishonesty. Gradually, Vikram began to genuinely regret his past actions. He was not just sorry because he had been caught, he was sorry because he had done wrong. He realized that his dishonesty had hurt people. He realized that he had caused suffering to others for his own gain. When Vikram was released from prison, he was a changed man. He still looked identical to his brother physically, but his character had transformed. He had decided to pursue a life of honesty. Vikram accepted Ashok's offer to work in his business. He started at the lowest position, doing simple tasks and learning how to conduct honest business. Over time, he proved himself to be reliable and trustworthy. His customers began to recognize his sincerity. Years passed. Vikram gradually rebuilt his reputation. People who had known him before prison were skeptical at first, but they gradually came to believe in his transformation. Vikram had proven through his consistent honesty that he had truly changed. Vikram and Ashok eventually became true partners in business. They worked together, building a successful enterprise based on honesty and fair dealing. The business became known throughout the city as a model of ethical commerce. When people asked Vikram about his transformation, he would speak about his experience in prison and about his realization that dishonesty brought suffering. "I was dishonest for many years," Vikram would say. "I thought I was clever and that I could deceive people without consequence. But dishonesty created suffering for others and ultimately for myself. In prison, I had time to understand the harm I had caused. When I was released, I decided to live differently. My brother showed me that honesty creates peace, and dishonesty creates torment. I have chosen peace." The story of the twin brothers became a famous legend in the city. It was told and retold as an example of how character ultimately reveals itself and how physical appearance is not a reliable indicator of a person's true nature. Parents told their children about the twin test as a lesson in the importance of honesty and integrity. Teachers taught the story as an example of how deception cannot be sustained forever. The magistrate's wisdom in using the test became legendary. Other magistrates and officials came to study his methods. They learned that observing a person's instinctive reactions in unexpected situations could reveal their true character more reliably than listening to their carefully prepared words. The story also became a message of hope about the possibility of redemption. Vikram's transformation showed that even a dishonest person could change and become honest if they were willing to genuinely reform. Scholars and philosophers wrote about the twin test, discussing its implications for understanding human nature and character. They debated whether character was fixed or could be changed. The story of Vikram's transformation suggested that character could be changed through genuine effort and sincere commitment to honesty. The most important lesson that the city learned from the twin test was this: true identity is not determined by physical appearance or by words. True identity is determined by character, the sum of a person's choices, values, and actions. Two people might look identical, but their characters would reveal their true natures. Many years after the original twin test, when both brothers were old men, they reflected on their lives. Despite their difficult beginning, where Vikram was dishonest and committed crimes, they had ended up in a place of mutual respect and partnership. Ashok spoke to his brother about their journey. "When we were younger," Ashok said, "we were so different. I was honest and you were dishonest. The twin test revealed this difference and brought you to prison. But you used that suffering as an opportunity to change. You transformed yourself through genuine effort. Now we work together as honest partners." Vikram replied, "You are right. The test was painful, but it was necessary. I needed to face the consequences of my dishonesty to understand the harm I was causing. In prison, I had to confront the reality of what I had become. When I was released and you offered me another chance, I decided to truly change. I do not regret my transformation, even though it required me to rebuild my life from nothing." Ashok said, "The city learned an important lesson from us. They learned that character is not fixed. They learned that even a dishonest person can become honest if they genuinely commit to change. Your transformation gave hope to many people." Vikram smiled and said, "But your honesty gave the city a stable example to follow. Your consistent integrity showed people what was possible when you committed to truth. We complemented each other. Your example showed the ideal, and my transformation showed that people could change and move toward that ideal." The two brothers, now identical in both appearance and character, were a living testament to the power of honesty and the possibility of redemption. The story of the twin brothers teaches us several profound truths about character and honesty. First, it teaches us that character cannot be hidden forever. Vikram tried to appear honest by copying his brother's answer, but eventually his true nature was revealed through his involuntary reaction to the stolen jewelry. This shows that while people might be able to deceive others temporarily through careful words, their true character will eventually be revealed through their actions. Second, it teaches us that physical appearance is not a reliable indicator of character. Ashok and Vikram looked identical, but their characters were opposite. This reminds us that we cannot judge a person's honesty by their appearance. We must observe their actions and reactions. Third, it teaches us about the power of reputation. Ashok's reputation for honesty was valuable and allowed him to succeed. Vikram's reputation for dishonesty ultimately led to his downfall. This shows that building a reputation for honesty is one of the most valuable things a person can do. Fourth, it teaches us that genuine transformation is possible. Vikram was dishonest and committed crimes, but he genuinely reformed. His transformation shows that people can change if they are willing to make a sincere commitment to honesty. Finally, it teaches us that honesty creates peace while dishonesty creates suffering. Ashok lived peacefully because his conscience was clear. Vikram suffered in prison and experienced internal torment because of his guilt. This shows that honesty is not just morally right, it also leads to greater personal peace and well-being.